Women's single sculls with Ekaterina Karsten-Kototovic, 5 times world. Here's Philippa Savage from a little place called Toowoomba, about 90 minutes inland from Brisbane. Was discovered by her coach Tom Conrad working in a bar 4 years ago, and is now in a World Cup final. More of that as we go through the race. Mirka Napkova, no stranger to us here. Solid silver, bronze medalist regularly at the World.
3 minutes.
Here is Ekaterina Karsten-Kototovic from, of course, Minsk and Belarus. Very interesting Chinese contender. This is Zhang Zhuzhun, coached by Beppe de Capua, and was pretty quick in qualifying through in the semi-finals. Now, in lane 5, Rumiana Nekova, well, she was not well in Munich, and hopefully she's feeling a whole lot better. Twig of New Zealand completes the lineup here. Emma, who was in the final last year, finished 6th, and that was pretty good for this 20-year-old.
She's going to be she's a junior world champion, and she will get right through this system very quickly. She may not make a medal in Beijing. She certainly will in a year or two's time.
They're the facts and figures on Ekaterina Karsten-Kototovic. Just a couple of Olympic golds and 5 world championships, countless World Cup titles. And
Belarus, China, Bulgaria, New Zealand. Attention.
Nekova very quick on to the second stroke there. She was straightening the boat. Scullers obviously can keep moving their sculls to keep the boat straight and make minor adjustments in a way that a bigger crew, the cocks particularly, has to obey somebody else's instructions. So Nekova just touching it up there, and then as the start was called, she got away smartly, but it isn't working for her in this race, and already lane 6 and lane 5 being drawn back, while as ever Karsten-Kototovic sets out there, long, easy strokes, just drawing the boat away. She's simply more powerful and better equipped in the lungs so that she can keep it going than any other sculler. And if she has bad form for some reason, somebody might get her. But if she's on the top of her form, there is no way anywhere that anybody gets close.
Well, as you say, she'd like to celebrate her birthday, which is just literally a few hours away, but I'm interested to see how Zhang Zhuzhun actually fares here against her, because I think this is a pretty important test. And you can see Mirka Napkova, or you could have done a few moments ago, going pretty strongly from the start as well to stay on terms.
Mirka Napkova knows,
and in fact, to take the lead.
She is in the lead, and she knows that it's the only way that she can keep up with Karsten. And she led for a large portion of the World Championships last year. She was in silver medal for a portion of it, and she only got pushed down into 4th place, which you pointed out at the beginning of this commentary, at the very last part, the last 250 metres. She's a hugely brave sculler, but she's much more slender, much more slight physically than the big contenders against her, Kototovic particularly. And so she gets out and she hangs on as long as she can.
And it is the Czech Republic who lead through the first quarter, ahead of Karsten from Belarus, of course, then Zhang of China, and Philippa Savage on the far side there. As we said, was only working in a bar 4 years ago when she was spotted. And you can see, tall, strong, powerful athlete, and 4 national titles behind her. She was actually selected last year to go in the double. That didn't happen, and now she's really against the best of the best. And you can see now Czech Republic, then Karsten in 2nd place, Zhang at the bottom of your screen in 3rd, Savage on the far side there, and Nekova out of picture along with Emma Twig.
Yes, in Napkova, fun enough, there was quite a bit of ripple from headwind back there, and I thought this is going to do for her, but instead she's managed to increase her lead on Karsten, so she's done well.
So coming through the half distance
we're
now.
Coming up to 1,000 metres here. We're about 850, 900 gone. Napkova, she is such a clean, tidy sculler. It's totally efficient. The case of Karsten, it's quite, how shall I say, a little bit Neanderthal, frankly. It's quite chunky, hard stuff. It's brilliant, hard stuff, but it isn't beautiful to watch, whereas Napkova really just sculls that boat along and doesn't bounce it at all. You can see the bows going down as Karsten then draws through to the finish and bounces the boat rather, and none of that from Napkova on the far side, still in the lead by 3/4 of a length.
It's Emma Twigg in foreground. A couple of seasons ago, Junior World Single Sculls champion, and just on the near side, just beginning to move up now. She's into 4th place, vying for 3rd place with Zhang, and you can see not too much between them, and she's made a good move in this 2nd quarter. Interesting to see whether she can keep this progress going.
Well, she's managing to stay ahead of the umpire's launch, or the television launch, which is what will be drawing her back. But she's a canny one, and she's maturing with every race. When you've raced as little as she has compared with some of these scullers, then every single opportunity to race teaches you something new. And she's out on the edge. She's got to do it all on her own. She can't feel the scullers around her, and yet she's managing to stay in touch. This is a learning curve that she's right up on the edge of it.
Well, this is going to be fascinating, and we're not actually seeing anything from the Bulgarian Nekova at the moment, and it doesn't look as if anything is going to come from her. But now you can see Karsten on the move. Karsten, who's up the rate now, deep in this 3rd quarter, going towards the last 500 metres. Now this is where Napkova has got to find answers. Napkova at 33 strokes a minute. Karsten looking very steady, and these two have pulled away. Look at the margin there over Zhang and Emma Twigg, and all credit to Napkova. She's been asked a set of questions. So far, the first question she's been asked, she's answered.
Absolutely, and what was lovely was to see Karsten's jaw go into a clench there, and she thought, I've got to do something about it. And you saw her push the finishes away, and Napkova, without any change of expression, is hanging on in there. We can't tell at the moment, but I think Napkova is still securely ahead, 1,500 metres.
Yeah, just about half a length, and Mirka Napkova, who last season got together with another great Czech, Katerina Neumanova, Olympic cross-country skier, and they've worked on strength, they've worked on mental strength as well as physical strength. And at the moment, Karsten under pressure that we don't see very often.
No, but she's going to do something about it now. This is going to change shortly. Napkova cannot withstand a real drive, and they are now level, as you can see from the line of boys, and their bow balls going through those line of boys together. And Karsten is going to take this race. She's already 1 metre ahead, having in 2 strokes, and she's going to move away. But what a beautiful scull by Mirka Napkova, and what an absolutely excellent piece of preparation she's done for the Olympics. But I'm afraid the truth will out. She hasn't got the muscle cross-section, she hasn't got the bulk to take on someone like Karsten and win.
Zhang in 3rd, Emma Twigg at the moment still in 4th place, but Karsten now in this last quarter, just gone through the 250-metre mark, and now from being half a length down at the beginning of the last 500 metres, going for a length of domination here. Zhang and Emma Twigg as a look out there, still vying for 3rd place, but you can see Zhang getting the better of that argument and closing a little bit. I have to say, Zhang just closing, putting in a bit of a sprint now to try and close the gap here, but she's not going to get on terms with Mirka Napkova. And Ekaterina Karsten, well, she wasn't very happy, I have to say, with her success in Munich, and it'll be interesting to see what she has to say after this race. And right underneath us now, really good race coming through. Emma Twigg being challenged now for the 4th place, coming through, and just about gets there, Emma Twigg, ahead of Nekova and Philippa Savic. So I'll give you the full rundown in a moment. But as you said, Hugh, the place by literally a couple of hundredths. So nothing between those two. But it was Rumiana Nekova who in fact crossed in 4th place, ahead of Emma Twigg, with Philippa Savic in her first World Cup final, finishing a creditable 6th.
It's in the past. that she's not been on form. She was sick